Brian Franz made the deadly announcement. And, and there were fans outside of Lincoln Center at the upfronts, picketing and so forth, and really making a stink. And you really sensed that. You really sensed their outrage and their hurt. I think they all took it personally, as we did. That it was such a disdain is the only word that quite captures it for me. That the network just showed such disdain for the form and for the audiences, and that part had been going on for a while. I think that we were getting they were writing story that was so insulting to the fans, and it was embarrassing for us to have to try to play it and make it into something, and it just was bad. It just felt bad all the way around, and but the fans really meant business. And just before I left LA, I was in the gym, and a woman came up to me, and she sort of threw herself on me, and she said, "I apologize, I can't help myself." And she started weeping, and she said, the network didn't understand. It wasn't just like we lost. It's not like you lost someone in your family, which of course is a terrible thing. She said, we lost a whole town. Yeah. And it was just, she said, my Christmas is not the same because I don't have Father Clarence. And so, I mean, it's expressions like that make you realize the profound impact that these shows, we have the capability of having on people's lives, and what an honor that is, and how that must be treated respectfully, and that's what we have the potential to do now, and that's why I'm so happy today,
Well, I tell you, that story alone choked me up because I can feel everything that woman felt, and first it was disbelief that they actually canceled these two shows that we have loved for so many years and watched on a daily basis, whether it be on live TV or at one time on the VCR and then the DVR and then on SoapNet. And, they just didn't take that into consideration. And then after the disbelief, then there was this pure sadness. And then the madness came in and the anger came in. And we thought, we're not going to let this go. And I'm just so thrilled to death that I was on Facebook and found these groups and got invested into them and helped to, fight this. No matter what we had to do, we were going to do it. And to be here today and be able to talk about watching the first episode, I mean, my God, that's historic. That's epic. That's unbelievable.
That's right. That's right. And I was very lucky. I'll just mention this as a sidebar, but every year my daughter's school has a fundraiser, like all schools. The parents want to help, and so they had an auction. And last year I was able to offer an autographed script of the final episode of All My Children, and of course it was a big item, and that was fabulous. So this year I was able to offer a copy of that last episode, plus an autographed script from the first episode of the online thing. And, of course, I wasn't allowed to send it out. I still have it here. I'm going to send it out tomorrow. But I just thought, wow, this is a really, like you say, this is a historic package I'm holding in my hands, And,
yes.
So,
we are just
it's exciting.
Thrilled.
Yeah.
And I love the opening scene with Brooke laying there having a nightmare. Of course, that wasn't nice, but her holding on to the All My Children book. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's right. And Julia's so wonderful.
That All My Children book was enough to bring us all to tears.
Yeah. It's great. Now, I'm not clear if that song that they were playing when Petey was driving into town, if that's going to be like the theme song, or it'll be interesting to see. I don't know. I know that One Life has a song that Snoop Lion is now called. I guess wrote. I don't know if he wrote for them or if they, adopted one of his existing tunes as their theme song, but I don't know. I don't know about ours. It'll be interesting too. Well, have you read anything, or do you know anything about that?
Yeah, it's All My Children is called Imaginary Friend by Katie Shaw.
Aha. Imaginary Spring?
Imaginary Friend.
I see. Well, cool. And so is that the song that was playing under Petey's arrival in the Porsche today?
I feel like wasn't one of them Internet killed the TV star or something like that? Which one was that?
It? There's a song that has that as a lyric?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that would be too good to pass up.
I know, right?
Oh, that's cool. I'll have to go back and watch for that now and see if I can tell that.
Yeah, I've
That's
actually watched it twice now, and I have to watch it a third time because, you're so in awe the first time you watch it and just concentrating on certain things and certain people that you just don't take the whole episode in.
Yeah.
You're just thrilled to death, so you have to watch it more than once, and I know I'll be watching it again.
Yeah.
And you know what? And the thing is, too, I DVR'd the last few weeks of All My Children, and the same thing with One Life to Live, and did not watch them and said I wasn't going to watch them until they came back on my TV. And so with everything going on and just life being busy, I never got to watch those last few weeks of either show.
Watch them?
No, so I'm going to watch them this weekend after I
watch them.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a busy
I couldn't
weekend.
do it. Yeah, I'll watch them this weekend. I couldn't do it. It was too depressing. I would cry.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm definitely going to watch them. Got to catch up.
Well, that'll be very interesting for you then.
Yeah. I do know the ending of One Life to Live because I went to the One Life to Live viewing party in Chicago for that. But the parts previous to that I don't know. So and All My Children. Of course, I've heard that JR, had a gun in that. You hear things and read things. So but I'll have to go back and watch it.
Yeah.
But Bren, do you have any questions? Because we have like 1 million callers on hold, and I don't want to keep Jill too long from her party.
I can ask her whatever I want anytime. Let's take some calls.
Okay. Sounds good. Are you ready, Jill?
Of course I am.
Take a deep breath.
All right.
Here we go. First one up is going to be David. David, you're live.
Hi, Jill. How are you?
I'm very good, David. How are you? Thanks for your call.
I'm doing well, and I'm so grateful you guys are back.
Thank you. Thank you. We are too.
It's
grateful.
Been quite 2 years, basically.
Yeah. I know. I think it's been it's been like a little limbo time or a long mourning, I guess.
Right.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
What has been your biggest surprise since you've been back?
I guess being back, really, I have to say, is the biggest surprise. And when we came back the first day, and, a lot of people that when we moved from New York to Los Angeles, we left behind about 70% of our company, all of the editors and camera guys and designers and electricians and everybody that the 70 out of 100 of us are behind the camera, and to come back, and we left sort of thinking we'd probably never work with them again, possibly never even see them again, people we'd worked with for 30 years. And to walk in that day, and there they all were. And I well up with emotion, even just talking about it now, because we all just walked around shaking our heads saying, I can't believe this. I can't believe this is happening, And I think we all still feel like that. It's just it's, as everyone's been using the sort of metaphor of, it's the classic soap opera Return from the Dead story.
Right.
And how lucky we are. Anyway.
Well, David, I want to thank you for calling in. We do have a lot of calls, so we want to get to as many as possible.
But thank you for calling, David.
You're very welcome.
All right.
Thanks.
You
Bye-bye.
take care.
Okay, next up we have Paige, if my little twirly thing stops twirling. Okay.
Hi, Jill.
Huh? Hi, is this Paige?
It is. I'm just, what a day, and you just made me start following and talking about all these beautiful people that helped put this beautiful product out for so long that you came back and saw them all there, because today as I'm watching, it's just such, everything has energy, and everything gives off energy. It was such a familiar spirit, and yet new and shiny and beautiful, but it was just such a familiar spirit to me, and I loved that you held up the picture of Palmer, and I loved just all these old connections that we've all had, yet, making it easier to see all the new things that were going on, and I'm just, I'm 45 years old. I've watched this show since I was a little girl.
Yeah.
And I had, started fighting with the Facebook campaign when it all started, and it was like losing your family. And people have this stereotype of a soap fan, but really it's just like reading a book. It's like if you're an avid reader, and we've been reading this book for years and decades and decades. And Jill, I just thank you for the beautiful energy that you give off through Opal, and I just thank you for your work. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Paige. It's so lovely, and to hear your comment about the energy that you felt coming from the episode, because that's really true. That's really authentic. We're all just completely pumped, and it's a thrilling time.
Why have you never sang on this show?
I did sing once. I sang twice, actually. I sang Stand By Your Man back when I was going out to crash Palmer's box at the opera. Way back when I was still in spandex and feathers. And then I sang Bad Girls to Crystal when she started dating my son. I did a karaoke thing. So I don't think, we don't do as much of the singing on the show as they do on One Life. They've really got the powerhouse singers on that show. Although, Bobby is a singer that always just knocks my socks off. I miss her. I wish she were here with us. But we don't have those big voices that they have on One Life. That's their thing.
Jill, what can we do as fans? Because I feel also a sense of I just feel nervous. And what can we do to make sure that this is going to be okay? That we're not going to get this taken away from us again? That we're back for good. What can we do?
I think the best thing you can do is proselytize, because everybody is really kind of, Prospect Park. I truly believe that they are sincere in their commitment. On the opening day, they said, we want this to run another 40 years, and I believe them that is their desire. But it will once again depend on viewers, and because at some point, it's a business. So the larger the viewership, if you guys have Twitter accounts and are retweeting and all that business, and bringing people to the shows and helping them figure out how to watch them, that is what you can do. And of course, to email or write, if you if you want to do that, is important as well. Especially they're very interested to know, and that's the exciting part about the internet too. We've been able to do all of this